We think of our shelters as independent from nature, but they're not. They're of nature, they impact nature, and we need to sort of better understand our connectivity with the natural environment. We want things to look authentic and true to the house, so it's not about us coming in and imposing our ideas on the house, the client, or the site, or the environment. It was about us trying to figure out how to make this house work with the changes that the client wanted to do. The point of this house was to be surrounded by beauty and surrounded by nature and surrounded by, by gorgeous objects, so that people could see that living green does not mean you have to sacrifice. It doesn't have to be about, living like a hermit. It's really interesting when you're working on old homes and thinking about it, you see how people used to live. For example, in some Victorian homes, there actually weren't bathrooms originally. There were still outhouses in California. And in Craftsman homes, there was never a bathroom on the first floor. There was a bathroom for the maid, and it was often in the back, and it was in an open porch. The reason is because people were used to, the help were used to outhouses. The idea of indoor plumbing was still very gross. Why would you do that in a house? That is just disgusting. And then of course the kitchens, the kitchens were these utility spaces, and you weren't meant to be a part of that process. Homes of all income levels had that, had a separate breakfast room, separate dining room, separate kitchen. So you weren't meant to be a part of that process. But now, of course, we want to be a part of that family life. So we've tried to bring back the old plaster techniques and things like that, so that when you are in the house, there's a slight movement to the plaster, and somebody's hand made that plaster. You know that this cabinetry was carved by a person, so that there's this authenticity. People yearn for a connection to their producers and to their environment. We use hemp fabric because it has a very low carbon footprint. It's less water intensive than cotton. So we're trying to use hemp fabric, and we have it printed locally and embroidered locally. You'll see it in the master bedroom. It's all redwood paneling, and you'll see that there's knot holes in it. And you'll see that in a lot of the lumber, that there's holes where the nail holes were. And we leave that in because it's, there's this blackness around it, which is the oxidization of the iron in the wood. It just adds character. So it's this gorgeous, dense, tight, old grain, redwood. It's just beautiful, and it would have been thrown out. That was the spirit or the design of this house, was, how can we examine and, every aspect of the way we live and build houses. It's about how interconnected we are with nature. I mean, our homes are actually, have an impact on the way we live, build, and exist in our home has an impact on nature.